Hello everybody, this is Alex from Hardcoring Guides, bringing my guide for God of War Ascension on Titan difficulty. Today we're doing part 2, entitled Village of Kirra. Hang on one second. I can still kind of hear the game volume just a little bit, and I gotta move my mic back again like I always do. I know, a little bit more unprofessional for this guide than any other guide I've mostly done. I mean, I've become a lot more unprofessional nowadays, just in general, to be fair. This is not just a God of War Ascension thing. This has been happening for a little while. So, Village of Kirra is a decent level. I would argue that the rougher parts of God of War Ascension are done for now. I still say that the Hecatoncheires, just the Prison of the Damned in general, Hecatoncheires, all that stuff, there's a lot of just the camera and just some weird, I don't know, things. I mean, granted, you know, I'm not really too used to God of War Ascension. I haven't played it nearly as much as I've played the other ones, especially God of War 1 and 2. Or even Chains of Olympus, for that matter. I used to play the game all the time back in the day when I actually had a PSP to play it on. Didn't have Ghost of Sparta, though. I got that through the collection. But, yeah, I mean, I've not played this one a lot, but it's not bad by any means. And I don't want people to think that I think that this is a terrible game. It's just that there's just things about it I just don't really care much for. And, yeah, I mean, if you're playing the game on normal, I think it's relatively pretty fine. And there's some cool stuff I like. I mean, don't get me wrong. Back in the past, when I first played God of War Ascension, I did not like the new combo system we had. The whole fact that you actually had to build up rage to get it. Prequel or not, I was like, well, that's kind of dumb. But as I've gotten older and as I've played through this game on Titan mode, at least now 3-4 times probably, you kind of start to not mind having the 4-hit combo system, because it actually does make it to where I get my finisher out a lot faster. And this might sound a little cringy, I know, to some people, but it kind of reminds me a little bit of Kingdom Hearts 2, for example, like with the Rumbling Rose Keyblade, where you can just get like a finisher, a negative combo I think it was, to just get finishers out faster. So, yeah. I know. Hey, look, I like a lot of different things. So, this is our first fight with the, I think, Elephantar, I think they're called, or Juggernaut or whatever. I looked up the names of these things, so I'm trying to figure out what the hell this thing was called. And that's the name I came across, so I think that's what it is. But this is the first introduction of a new type of enemy. Completely new to God of War in general, and honestly, not... Like, on normal mode, I do like this enemy on normal mode, but on hard mode, it's a lot more weird. And the one that spawned there, I'm not sure if that only spawned because I got that far back, or if that just spawned because of health. I'm not sure. And again, this guide is not like a full-on, like, complete understanding of the entire thing, and I do apologize for that. This is more so like me just at this point, just taking into consideration that this is just me just taking on God of War Ascension, more so than an actual, true, full advice guide. But if I had to give some advice, whenever the elephants are running around, like, if you keep your distance, you can kind of force them into a running animation. And if you're lucky enough that they don't do that, you know, that tusk attack, then you could get away with them kind of wearing themselves out a little bit, and you get some free damage on that. And I think that whenever you get them stunned, I thought that running into a wall would cause them to take damage, which I think you can also damage enemies around you too when you're running with them. But for the most part, I'm not, again, 100% certain on that. I mean, if somebody did know and you want to tell me, that's fine. It's just that I'm not aware. And by the way, that stomp is, in my opinion, really hard to react to. Like, holy crap. You can dodge an iframe through it. As far as I'm aware, it looked like I could. But for the most part, just jumping it's fine. Also, this is one of my favorite executions of all of God of War, which that's saying a lot, especially for a game that, out of the classic God of Wars, is definitely probably my least favorite. In terms of the classics, to be fair. That, again, doesn't mean that it's bad. It's just like, this is the one that I don't go to very often when it comes to classic God of War style stuff. So, but, I mean, who knows? Maybe one day I might just start seeing it differently. I don't know. I'm willing to try that. But yeah, this game has like a couple of my favorite execution moves, and this is definitely one of them. This one hurts my fucking cranium every time I look at it. It's like, ugh. That's why I like it for. It's pretty cool. And then the hooded Gorgon, I think they're called, the snake Gorgons. One of you cut them in half. That's pretty cool. Which reminds me, out of all the God of Wars that I've played, not counting the mobile game and not counting that Facebook game, I never played those. Betrayal looks fine, but I've not played the Facebook game. And let's be honest, Facebook game, like I'm probably okay without it. But God of War 4 is my least favorite of all the God of Wars of just all time. I like Ragnarok way better than God of War 4. I like Ascension way better than God of War 4. I like a lot of stuff better than God of War 4. I mean, at the time when I first played God of War 4, it was okay. But over the years, I've kind of fallen into this idea that, like, I get so bored of it so quick. And I just feel like Ragnarok just kind of did it better. So that's just, my opinion on that. But that also is a favorite execution move of mine, too. Those werewolf things. I forgot what they're called, but whenever you take their jaw and you rip it down, I think that's really badass. I like that. So, yeah. I like when God of War gets brutal. I remember, like, back in God of War 3, I was surprised when I was playing the demo. I was surprised to see the Helios head getting ripped off scene. I was like, damn, they fucking showed everything. Like, god damn. You know what I mean? It was so cool back then. And the God of War 3 demo was great, by the way. I didn't get to play the Ascension demo, though, unfortunately. And hell, I didn't get to play Ghost of Sparta at all. I didn't even know about Ghost of Sparta until, we got the HD collection back in the day. And this is when I was living with the parents, when they got it themselves, because they were God of War fans. Well, to an extent. They mostly played, I think 1, 2, and 3 for sure. And then they didn't really play the PSP games, because I was the one that had a PSP. So they didn't really play with that too much. They did get to play the PSP... Well, my dad got to play the PSP games on the collection. Whether or not he played all of them, I don't know. And I think at one point, either I bought them Ascension, or they bought it, or I let them borrow my copy. I don't know. I think my dad played Ascension, but I have no clue. And he keeps always talking about how, like, there's, like, this one PSP game he has not played yet. And I keep telling him, like, I think it's Ghost of Sparta, because I remember vividly watching you play Chained Olympus. It's like, oh, that's the one. It's Chained Olympus. Like, moron. No. If anybody knows for a fact which one's Chains of Olympus and which one's not, it's probably the guy that played Chains of Olympus, like, all the goddamn time back in the day when he had a PSP. Like, I played that thing to hell and back. I loved that game so damn much. That was actually my first time ever beating God of War. I think I mentioned that before, but that was my... No, not my first time beating God of War, sorry. That was my first time ever beating God of War on God mode. Excuse me. And then after that, I think it was God of War 1 and then 2. And I remember being so excited about beating God of War 1 and 2. I told my mom, and she just gave me like that, okay, whatever. And it fucking destroyed me back in the day. And funny enough, this might sound really stupid and might sound really weird. That's kind of a small little part of why I started hardcoreing guides anyway, because I've always grown up with people that just kind of shrug off my accomplishments, I guess you could say. Even though it's a game, like, it's not a big deal, I guess, but as a young lad, you kind of think of, this stuff's like a big deal to you. But yeah, that's kind of partly why hardcoring exists anyway, because I have this mentality that nobody believes anything I say. So I end up just trying to prove it. And then what's kind of even more sad is every time that I do something, I still feel like it's not enough proof that, or I haven't even hit the top. I haven't done anything successful. Because I was thinking about this today, actually. Now that I'm talking about it, I was thinking about this today. Because I was like, oh, I want to do God Hand at some point. That'd be awesome. Like, that'd be like the top of the top. Because, like, God Hand doesn't seem like it's too far out of my reach nowadays. Like, I could probably do it if I just tried hard enough. If I could just learn it, I could probably do it. And let's be fair, I probably could. And I think anybody really could if they put themselves to it. God Hand on hard, by the way. And it's funny because I was thinking, I was like, I made up this person in my head that was like, you've never beaten a fucking game on any difficulty higher. Like, you've never beaten any good, solid, actual difficult game before. Which is kind of funny because, like, when you think about it, like, I've beaten Vanquish on God Hard. I've beaten God of Wars, which, okay, to be fair, they're not, like, the most strenuous games of all time, but they've given me some challenge before. Like, I need to give myself a bit more credit. But that's what happens when you have that mentality, is you're just kind of stuck with that forever, and it sucks. So my brain's just trying to, like, fight to climb to the top. And what's going to happen if I beat God Hand on hard? The same thing, I'm sure. I'm just going to tell myself, like, well, yeah, you might have beaten God Hand on hard, but anybody can do that. You're not special. You suck. You know, so, I'm getting all depressed. I should stop doing that. I know, but you gotta let this stuff out, you know. If you don't, then it's just not going to be a good look. Real quick, just to explain a few things. Well, there's that. I fucked that up. You have infinite magic right now, which is fine. You're just fighting satyrs, so like at this point, it's not really a big deal what's going on. You can just grab and throw them if you wanted to. Or just infinite magic their ass. It's okay. So, when you upgrade your Blaze level 2, as you saw, you gain access to the parry. And back in the day, the parry system was kind of off for me. I never got used to it back in the day, and then I tried my hardest in this playthrough to utilize it just a bit more. And it has its use, of course, and I recommend using it as much as you possibly can. It might be a little strange at first to get used to, especially if you play a lot of God of War like I did, and you're just kind of used to how the parry system normally works, where you just block before they hit you. But now you got to input L1 and X, which that sometimes kind of fucks me up too, because I'll be doing something, anything. Same thing with L1 square. You see that quite often, where I'll be blocking and I'll be trying to do something outside of block and just immediately go into a jump. Or I'm trying to jump, but I just go into a parry, or I do a, God forbid, cyclone or something, which gets you fucked, by the way. Real quick, when you get into this room, I would suggest going up here and killing these guys first, just to get them out of your way, because, you know, zoners suck. If you play a lot of fighting games, then you know for a fact that zoners suck. And then now, since we have Rage Mode actually active, we can use that to our advantage to stun enemies. And by the way, regardless if a satyr has armor or not, if you get a stun on a satyr, a normal, regular satyr, and you grab them and you throw them into a wall, it's an instant kill, regardless of armor or not. Which, they don't have armor yet, but they will. They will, trust me. So this fight in particular, not too bad. Satyr generals are actually... It's so funny. There's a lot of favorite enemies that I actually like in this game. I like the Gorgons in this game. I like the Satyr General. I think he's a lot of fun. This attack that he does, that charge attack, usually goes for a second hit after, so just keep that in mind. It's probably best just to parry the second hit. Also, you'll notice that whenever I get a chance to do a rage attack, I'm just going to take it. Because it's got pretty much just tons of iframes. And not only that, but at the same time, it just puts enemies into stun and does damage, so, you know, why not? But yeah, right there, that's something I would recommend parrying. And also, parries do give you a free stun, so if you just want to, you know, ram these guys into people... Wait, they do have armor on. Oh, I guess they do. Oh, I didn't know. I could have sworn it didn't. Anyway, armor is a problem because you cannot grab them if they have armor on. That's the big issue. Unless they're stunned. You can only grab them if they're stunned. You can't just do a regular grab, which makes sense, but, you know, just fair warning that if you're going to be doing that, that's something to watch out for. And also, fair piece of advice here, too. That's a quick time event. Don't fuck it up. So, you know, it's like the Minotaurs in... No, wait. Who am I thinking of? I'm thinking of God of War 2. Who am I thinking of? Oh, yeah, the, damn it. What were they called? Those other type of Minotaurs, the ones with the big flail thing, big mace thing, or whatever they had, where you smack them in the face with it, and then you grab them with your blades, and you rotate the stick, and you push them onto it. I think those were Minotaurs. Pretty sure. Also, I forgot to mention this, because I was probably whining and crying about stupid shit, but, I had to cut out a part of the video, not because I died, but because I got lost in figuring out where I was going with that block puzzle, where you had to push the block in a certain position, and I was not paying any attention because I was watching something else while I was doing this, and I forgot to look where the damn thing spawned at, so I got lost for like 5 minutes, and I just cut that out because who needs to see it? I almost died there. My field of depth is complete total garbage. And also, I completely wasted that sling, by the way. You have plenty of slings to use. I wanted to restart the checkpoint so bad, but I'm like, who cares? At this point, who gives a rat's ass? So, the sling is a really decent weapon. I love its L1 circle move, which, by the way, that's the finisher move regardless. So, like, if you're not used to God of War Ascension, whenever you run out of ammo for a weapon, or if the weapon starts to get kind of low on energy, it will eventually just do the L1 circle command, which basically is just, like I said, a finisher. And the finisher for the sling is basically just a big pack of fireworks that just blows up in people's faces and completely destroys them. So there's that. Also, it's so weird, like, I remember, like, I think the last video I was just kind of not, like, super hyped to record God of War in terms of commentary. But right now, all of a sudden, I don't know what's going on, but I'm just feeling pretty good today. Even though I was feeling, like, depressed, like, a few minutes ago. But I don't know what it is about this video particularly. I mean, I did record Mega Man X4 co-op on my main channel over on TurdMonkey1497 if you want to go watch that. It's quite hilarious and quite funny. Okay, maybe not that funny, but I thought it was. So, there's that. So if you're interested in that stuff, there you go. We did X campaign, which I kind of always wanted to sort of do a Mega Man on this channel, but I just don't know which one I want to do or how I want to do it. I thought about, like, you know, Mega Man Buster only type stuff, that kind of thing, which is possible. You know, I could probably do that, but I don't know. I know Mega Man X5, or which one is it? No, it's X8, right? X8 has hard mode? I think. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm like pretty positive X8 has hard mode. And I also would like to do an RPG one day, which I talked to my brother about it. Oh, I forgot to talk to him about Siphon Builder too. Fuck. I talked to him about, like, upcoming guides I had in mind, because, like, once I'm done with the Transformers project, like, I'm not fully done with Hardcore just yet. I got more plans coming in the future for you guys. But I thought about doing Chain of Memories for Kingdom Hearts, but then I was like, well, I don't want to do Chain of Memories because, like, it's just going to be fucking boring and repetitive. Even though I don't hate Chain of Memories, like the PS2 one, by the way. So I'll be playing it on the PS4 collection, but the PS2, you know, technical game. The remake of it, basically. I kept thinking to myself, like, it'd be kind of boring and repetitive, and it wouldn't be very fun. Even though I do like Chain of Memories, I thought it was quite enjoyable. I just thought that it wouldn't make good for a guide or whatever, yada, yada, yada. And then I started playing it yesterday on Proud, and I'm like, oh, maybe it would. So, I don't know. Maybe we'll see about that. But in terms of actual RPGs, I've always wanted to do a Persona RPG. Not 4. Oh, though. I thought about doing 5 back in the past for, like, Merciless mode. But then I think Royal came out, and I'm like, well, if I'm going to do 5, might as well do that one. But then it's like, well, I could always do P3, like original P3 on hard. See if I can do it, you know. But the thing is, too, that's a lot of recording. Like, that's tons of stuff. Like, I would have to record gameplay footage and then do commentary pretty much right after, just to save room so I can delete the footage and just have a rendered video all together to save space, unless I just go buy a, you know, a hard drive. Yeah, you could do that. But, I mean, that'd be a long series, and I would cut out so much stuff, too. I'd just cut out... same thing with, possibly with Chain of Memories. I would just cut out a bunch of the fluff. A bunch of basic fights that don't need to be seen, basically. And, you know, P3 is kind of... not grindy, but it's enough to where it's like, yeah... there's going to be a lot of just potential grinding stuff going on. And I would probably just show off, like, what I do every day. And honestly, if I were going to do it, I would probably also want to have, like, a facts guide on hand or something to keep up with, you know, answers and what should I do that day to maximize the most out of everything I can do. So that way I don't fuck that up. But then again, like, in all reality, you could just do away with a lot of that stuff, you know? I mean, yeah, you need social links to gain max of stuff, but I think it depends on, like, which personas you kind of want to run. I should ask my brother about that, because he's a P3 nerd. We both love P3. That's our favorite Persona game. But the original one, FES. Well, I say original, and then I say the fucking goddamn Newport of it. You know what I mean? Motherfucking Newports. He's a P3 guy. That's his favorite game of all time. And I should probably ask him about, like, if I was to do a hard mode guide, like, he'd probably say something along the lines of, like, which personas to build would probably be, like, I don't know. Besides, like, the main ones, of course, like, the ones you probably, like, build Thanatos, like, fuck off. Build Messiah, no. That requires a lot of stuff. I think that's, like, what, full Devil, full... I think that, yeah, I think so. I forget. Like, isn't, like, all 5 that makes, No, Messiah is made from Thanatos and Orpheus. And then, Thanatos is made, I want to say, from Alice. Oh, fuck. Maybe, I don't think Mott's... No, Mott is in P3, isn't he? Yeah. But I don't think he's a part of that group. I don't know. Yeah, says the guy that likes Persona 3. Yeah, right. I do. It's just, you know, I don't play it that much. Still love it dear to death, though. I mean, there's always the remake I could do, technically. Which reminds me, we just finally got a trailer for the new Silent Hill game, Silent Hill F. And my brother is like... He's like, I bet you're excited. Like, this is probably going to be your game of the year, isn't it? Or no, he's like, I bet this will be your game of the year. He's saying that, like, I mean, I like Silent Hill, but, like, I'm not, like, the greatest of Silent Hill fans. I love 1, I love 2. I actually like Homecoming. I don't like Downpour. I don't really care much for 4. And I'm going to sound like a loser, but I'm not really a big fan of 3 much either, to be fair. And I actually did like the remake of 2. Surprisingly enough, you know, I did. Yeah, I actually kind of liked it. I quite liked it. I quite enjoyed it. But that's not the reason why. It's who's working on it is the reason why he knows that I'm going to like it. So, and apparently, that same person who's working on it, let's just say that he made some visual novels that I much love, and my favorite anime came from them as well, and also some of the music composers for both of those visual novels is going to be appearing and making music for it too, and it's like, fuck, my brother might be onto something. I think this might actually be, but we'll see. So I'm kind of looking forward to it, but I'm not going to get my hopes up. I need gameplay with it. I need gameplay. Story is one thing. Story, writing, all that stuff, that's one thing, but I need good gameplay. And to be fair, like with Ascension, like, the story is just kind of here. I mean, I don't remember most of what happens. Because what's funny is whenever it comes to the prequels, I don't really pay attention too much to it at all. I just kind of consider them non-canon, even though I'm pretty sure they technically are canon, but, like, I just don't care. I just think, like, God of War 1, 2, and 3. And then he just gets to God of War 4. So real quick, to explain the Gorgons, there is only, like, a few attacks that these bastards do. And it's super relatively telegraphed. Except for that one. That one's a little bit harder to kind of figure out. That grab, you can just dodge out of it. It's not a big deal. Even if you do get grabbed, she barely does any damage. And the best part is, if you do happen to get a stun on a Gorgon, you can use that to basically get a stone kill. But the only problem is, we're on Titan mode, which means that that stone kill is going to be a lot harder to get than it looks. So, yeah, I hate to say it, but getting those stone kills is not going to be an easy feat. Now, back to the parries, though. So this attack right here, this double swipe attack, that's the thing that I would recommend, highly recommend you parry. At least, at the very least, parry the second attack. That's what I would say. And the nice thing about Gorgons, though, especially with, like, which I'm surprised that Ascension even did this. I'm surprised there's no lackeys in this fight, just for whatever reason. Like, I don't know, like, I'm so used to, I guess, other games doing that shit that at this point it's just like, it's kind of weird that God of War doesn't do that. But then again, God of War is just kind of like, it's the same fights, but now it's just with more attrition, and it's like, I don't know, like, I still stand by that notion that I like God of War, I like God of War on hard, but god damn it, there's just times where it's just like, man, I wish it wasn't just pure attrition, I wish there was something extra with it. And I know that, like, certain God of War games, certain weapons and certain magic do get nerfed in harder difficulties, but some of them don't. I know about that. With this game, I have no idea which ones they are. Don't ask me, because I use fire the entire time. I don't know. And yeah, by the way, that's another thing, too. I am not going to be upgrading anything besides the blades and the fire and the items. That's it. We're not upgrading ice. I'm not upgrading electricity or Hades. I apologize again, but you don't get enough fucking orbs in these games anymore, so it's like, what the hell do you want me to do, you know? Which, looking back on it, with Ghost of Sparta, I didn't know how powerful the Arms of Sparta was, so I'm probably missing something. I'm sure I am. I'm sure that to some degree, the Poseidon blades are probably like really good. And I think they're the ones that drop red orbs. I always forget. I think Hades is green orbs, and then red is fire gives you rage. The fuck did electricity give you then? Magic? Because that doesn't sound right. I don't remember. Oh well. Another thing too I like about this game is, weirdly enough, I kind of like the way Kratos looks. I like the white and the weird shiny whiteness of his skin. The ashes of his family makes him kind of stand out and looks really cool. So I always like that about Kratos, his design. How white he is. I don't know, I just think that Kratos has a cool design. I'm so glad they went with the red tattoo instead of the blue one. So I've seen the beta footage, because, like, you know, it's something you can unlock in God of War 1. For those that are not familiar, you can get that in God of War 1. I saw some of the beta footage stuff, and it's like, I would not have liked blue. Blue's my favorite color. Unironically. Blue is my actual favorite color. And red just looks really good on him. I mean, granted, like, if it was blue, like, I wouldn't probably tell or care. Like, let's say, like, in an alternate universe, it really was actually blue. It's like, you know, because you just kind of associate it with blue, right? So, I can't exactly tell if that's going to work or not. But I do unironically think that his red tattoo has always looked really good. So, very smart character design. Which is something I wish I could fucking do. I wish I was better at designing characters, because all my characters are just basically like Tsukihime characters. They just wear fucking white t-shirts and blue jeans. Okay, well that's more so Mihoyo, but you get the gist. The Witch on the Holy Night, that's Alco bullshit. White t-shirt and blue jeans. My favorite type. Because funny enough, that's kind of what I wear, except... Well, I get made fun of. People tend to call me a cartoon character in real life, and it does not help. It does not help my situation, because I wear nothing but, like, I only ever wear blue jeans, and for the most part, like, I got a couple gray shirts, but you know, you kind of sweat and it shows. So I wear black t-shirts. And I have dirty blonde hair. So guess what that means? Yeah, I'm basically Johnny Bravo in real life. And I have chicken legs and better upper arm strength, I guess. I'm not like big, bulky up. I'm not big and bulky. I'm not really fat either, but I don't know. But I'm definitely not Johnny Bravo size, I can tell you that. I don't even have sunglasses either. I thought about buying them just to kind of fit the mold. But anyway, yeah, this part, we're going to get actually two different particular powers. We're going to get both Poseidon and Ares. So... quite fun, isn't it? And now we get to find out which one gives us what again. Well, I know that, you know, Ares gives us rage orbs. I'm not stupid. I remember that one. But in terms of, like, which one I'd rather prefer using, I always just stick with fire for this type of stuff, just because it's got a good magic attack. I forget what the magic attack was for each of the other blades. And that's the thing, though, is we don't get them, because you have to upgrade to get them, and it's just like, I'm okay. I think I'm perfectly content with just having whatever I have on. So, I understand that this might be a very boring guide for a lot of people, and I do apologize for that, of course. I know I keep apologizing about everything, but it's true. You know, like, I don't want this to be boring. I don't want this to be annoying or anything like that. It's just, it's God of War Ascension. Like, I'm not the best at it. You know, I'm not great at everything I do. I try my best, and I know what I know, and that's about it. Yeah, that's about it. So, yeah, see you. But no, for real, like, I only want to upgrade the things that I know how it works well, and I think that's probably going to be my downfall in the future. Is if I stick to one type of idea at all times, it's just not gonna work. And the thing in question I'm basically talking about is, if I'm gonna learn God Hand, you know, I have to stop doing the same thing I do all the time. I gotta learn to practice with different stuff, learn new techniques. Even though in all technicality you can get away with the same techniques the entire game, but man, if you really want to learn that game, you've got to at least try a little harder to learn something new. You know, figure some new things out, because there's plenty of stuff to learn. And same thing goes for Devil May Cry. I would love to do Devil May Cry on the channel. I've always wanted to do it, but just never really got around to doing it. And I've beaten DMC4 on Dante Must Die, but that's really about it. Well, except for the reboot one, but that one's easy enough to do that. But like older DMC games, it's like if I just practice, especially Dante for DMC4, you know, like if I just practice and figure them out, it'd make my life a little bit easier to do these guides for. I mean, heck, it'd make your guys' lives easier too, you know? Like, you'd be able to see, you know, this dumbass over here, be like, wow, you know what? That idiot can do it. I got this. And yeah. That's... The reality of it really is, you know, if you think you've got it, just go try it. You know, go do it. Go practice. You know, I mean, don't doubt yourself. Just go for it. If you're not hurting anybody else, you know, why not give it a shot? I mean, granted, I'm not trying to say, like, waste your time. Like, if you really don't want to play a game, or if you don't want to take a game to its extreme and you just want to kind of just relax and watch somebody play a game on hard, of course that's fine. You know, there's obviously nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying, like, you know, if you think to yourself, because sometimes I do, I sometimes think, like, well, if I learned that game, it's just going to be kind of a waste of time. If you do think that way, you know, that's not the worst thing either, I guess. Because sometimes maybe it just is. You know, maybe there's just some things I'm not meant to play. Maybe I'm not meant to be good at. I don't gotta be good at everything. But anyway, we're getting into a relatively pretty fun part next time. So I'll let, you know, future me take care of that. And I hope you guys enjoyed. And I'll see you all next time for some more God of War Ascension. And as always, take care, everybody.